So let me grab a phone call here. Moving on to Jim in Los Angeles. Jim, I'm glad that you called. Welcome to the program, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
Very well. Thanks much.
I'm calling about to comment about this shooting in Texas.
Yes, sir.
Just as an introduction, I'm a Muslim myself, grew up in the Middle East. I've been here for about 26 years, but lived through the whole civil war of Beirut, so I'm a bit familiar with these kind of people. But first I want to say that I'm a scholar of Islam, and I think the system that embodies the spirit of that religion the most is the founding principles of the U.S. Constitution. The countries out there like Saudi Arabia and Iran and everybody else, they're way out there. And everybody wants to portray them as the example of Islam and Sharia and jihad. And by the way, I don't think the radio shows have a good idea of what Sharia is or what jihad is, but these radical criminals are becoming like the poster children for this, but it's not. They're criminals.
Wait, let me help out. No, I need to ask you something. Are you saying that the Islam of Saudi Arabia, the Islam of Iran, is not really Islam in terms of what Sharia is?
No. Number one, there's no kingdom in Islam, and Saudi Arabia is a kingdom. There's no compelling in Islam, and these guys still follow people with a stick on Friday if they don't go to Friday prayer.
Well, does Sharia permit freedom of speech? Does Sharia permit Christians to practice Christianity?
So, yeah, of course. Can I explain to you what Sharia is? Because I don't think these radio shows understand what Sharia is.
Well, no, I do. At least by people who are expert in it, I'm familiar with it. But tell me,
okay.
Tell me what it is in a minute or less. The less time, the better.
First of all, there's no one book that's called Sharia law that every Muslim refers to as the reference. Sharia is basically the interpretations that came after the Prophet died, that people had questions, and these formatted itself into several schools of thought, and they became known as Sharia. Sharia is from the Arabic word shar'a, which means interpreted the law. Here we have the Supreme Court that we all agree that, okay, that's the ultimate explainer of the Constitution. In the Islamic world, there is no such thing. So there is no one book that everybody can say that's Sharia law, and what Saudi Arabia does is Sharia. No, that's wrong.
But that's precisely the point. That there isn't a Supreme Court in Islam, and there isn't, or Sharia is your truth. There is no interpretation. You are or you aren't. You do or you don't, or else. I mean, anyway. Okay, so Jim said that Sharia interpretation varies between sects, such as between Sunni and Shiite. Is that why they kill each other off? Isn't that why? I mean, that's because of the different interpretations of Islam. And if disagreements within Islam result in killings, I mean, isn't Sharia what it is then? Is that powerful? Failure to comport with whatever we define it as results in maybe you dying. But anyway, Jim is right. And he said the U.S. Constitution represents Islam better than Sharia law. If he's right, why do so many Muslims want to replace the Constitution with Sharia if the Constitution already does a great job of Sharia? This is, this is interesting. I mean, even so-called moderates say that their ultimate goal is to live under Sharia, not the U.S. Constitution, not some other secular government. Sharia is the objective. Make no mistake about that. Sharia is the objective. I mean, in England and to some extent Canada, even today, many disputes, including those involving family law, are settled by Sharia courts and Sharia arbitrators. And once the ruling comes down, it is what it is. But if it's just a matter of interpretation, why are people killed for not following it? Not in just some places, but in every place where Sharia is the law of the land. Anyway, to say that there is nothing in the world, this is the truth, there's nothing in the world comparable to the United States Constitution. Now, you may have, in fact, in the UK, well, what about Britain, Russia? I mean, their freedom of this. They don't have freedom of speech, for example. And they got different slander and libel laws, but they don't have a constitution in the UK. The United States Constitution is unique in all of humanity, folks. There isn't anything like it or better. And if there were, the United States would not be in the crosshairs of so many other places. If there were something better than they wouldn't care. They wouldn't be threatened by it. It's a dangerous, dangerous thing. And when you have any number of people who refuse to stand up to it in an attempt to appease or be unnoticed, it's not good. It's going to lead to advancement of this kind of thing. And that's true not with just Sharia or any other religion. That's true of political ideology. It's true of party politics. If you don't stand up and oppose that which you disagree with, if you don't push back on it, you're eventually going to be devoured by it. History is replete with example after example.